Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? Very well, I hope, as always. So, I'm just making a quick lunchtime video today. I was sitting here. I'm sitting here at lunch, and I jumped into my Facebook page, and I was just having a look at some of the messages there, and it really sort of prompted me to make a video about about what people think of course creators and what they expect from us and what they think that we're all about, right? Because I get a hell of a lot of messages like demanding things, demanding like I owe something to everybody, right? I don't owe anything to anybody, and just like you guys don't owe anything to anybody either, right? If we choose to take actions inside of our life, it's because we want to. We've taken these choices because we feel the need to do so. It's the same thing with us. Like, I wouldn't say all course creators, right? Some people use the method of jumping into people's DMs and basically begging them to become students and this and that, but that's not who we are, right? If we're in the DMs, it's because you wanted to have a chat with us. Like, we're not going to unsolicit anybody or do anything like that, right? But it's a very big misconception, right? And really, there are course creators out there like that who beg and ask and just jump in DMs, and they're just desperate. They're desperate for students. But there's a different level of course creator, right? And that's the level of people who I hang around with and communicate with on a daily basis. And we're talking guys that don't need students, right? Guys that have actual successful businesses, and we do this as a secondary thing and another source of income, as well as there's just a major satisfaction in helping people. And believe it or not, guys, there's still good people in the world that get a kick out of actually seeing others win, right? So, I know people are used to seeing on the internet, most people are just in it for themselves, right? So this is the reason why most people jump straight to this demanding state, like everybody owes them something, or like, because I'm a course creator, I owe you something, right? And it's not true. If I promised you something, then I owe you something. But if you haven't heard those words come out of my mouth or any of our content where there's a promise for something, then we owe you nothing. That's it. End of the story. So please, right, I'm not saying any of you guys, but if anyone here who is listening is one of the people who do jump into DMs and start demanding, it's just really not a good look, right? And at the end of the day, when we don't need students, like some people out there do, that's all, that their business isn't real and they don't have any other sources of income, and they really need students, and yes, they will probably cater to your demands. But we are not that person. We will not cater to these demands, and it will just earn you a block, right? Because we don't want people in our program who have that attitude. We don't need, at the end of the day, we're not scounging for students. So we can pick and choose. If we see that sort of attitude, it's not going to come into our program. You would not believe how many people were super nice when I jumped on the call with them and they got into the program, and at the end of the day I've just gone, wow, their whole attitude changed, right? Because it's that demanding attitude, like we owe something to somebody, right? We don't owe anything to anybody. Even when you become a paid student, we do our services because that is the best step forward for you, like with our daily coaching and all of that stuff. But really what you're paying for is our knowledge, and we give that to you immediately, right? Immediately. All the daily coaching and everything is sort of like it's a back end thing, because especially our monthly book reviews, right? So when you're doing our program and you do a public domain book and you publish it, we actually go over every aspect of that book and we film a video as we make assessments on that book. And we're talking keywords, categories, covers, cover placements, like the manuscript, absolutely everything. And the reason we do this is because that gives you guys the best chance of success, not because we owe it to anybody, all right? And this is a bit more of a sort of a video, and I don't really like doing these videos, but I think it has to be said, right? It has to be said. If you're if you're somebody who jumps into inboxes of course creators or anybody and starts demanding, Well, that might fly with some people, but it's not going to fly with my organization. It's just not. And I just had to block like 3 people. And it's just because they're completely rude, completely demanding. They're not going to fit our program anyway. We won't have that sort of attitude in our program. And we do want, everything to be love. That's what we want at the end of the day, guys. Love and success and happiness for all. And if you let that sort of attitude into your program, into your community, because that's what this is about at the end of the day, we're building a community of successful period time publishers. It brings down the morale of the whole thing, and it's just no good for anybody. So I guess this video is about just making one thing really clear, that the businesses that I run are very successful. The course and the coaching program that we created, the period time publishing program, is just a step up from what we're already doing, right? So at the end of the day, we don't need to do this, what we're doing with the coaching program. We really do this for 2 reasons, right? To make money, because it's a business. And the second reason is to help people, to make an impact on the world. And I sat for a long time thinking, I'm making a lot of passive income, and life was great because I'd go out on the jet skis, we'd go out on the boat, we'd do all these things. But in time, it sort of becomes hollow, right? It's a shallow sort of existence. And you start to think like, what can I do to make more of an impact? And I had no idea what I was going to do. There was a million things I could teach people or help people with. And I got the help of a coach, right? I reached out to a coach, really high level, multi 8-figure entrepreneur. And we sat down and we sort of discussed like what was the biggest things in my life that really made an impact and changed everything around, from being poor, homeless and broke to where I sit today. And when I really thought about it, it was publishing. Without a doubt, it was publishing. Because without my publishing business, I would have never had the disposable income to build my other businesses, right? And so at that point in my life, when I created this program, it was more about making an impact than anything. But it's turned into a beast, right? Because it takes a lot of resources to do what we do. 24-hour, around-the-clock daily coaching. That's not any easy feat. And we have to hire coaches. We have staff members. We have many expenses. We do paid ads and marketing as well for outreach, instead of all that jumping in the DM sort of crap that people get, unsolicited DMs. Like I said, if we're in your DMs, it's because you wanted to talk to us, and we're happy to have a chat. And if you wanted our help and come into our program, we're going to do that. But we don't need to really jump around scrounging in DMs. We spend a hell of a lot too much money on paid advertising just to get our branding and messaging out there. And yeah, guys, that's really just what I wanted to say today. Is please don't jump in my DMs demanding anything, please. It's not going to end well for anybody. We don't owe anything to anybody. You guys don't owe anything to us. But we just want to be good people, right? And treat each other with respect and a common courtesy. And that's all I expect when somebody talks to me. And I won't cop it. I'm too old for that nonsense now. I won't cop it if I'm copying demands and poor attitude. And some people just straight out swear and try to call you a liar and all this stuff. And it's like, look, man, words only hurt the weak, and that doesn't hurt me. But what it does do is make me say, hey, I don't want to associate with you, and I'm never going to help you build a business ever. So see you later. It's just not going to work. It doesn't work for anybody. What does work is a positive attitude. And guys, I know it's very difficult. We are human beings. We're not going to stay positive 24/7 every single day. We're going to have down times. We're going to have struggles inside of our businesses and our personal lives, and it's going to put us in bad moods. And sometimes this is the case. Like the one dude that I'm obviously not going to mention names, but he was in my DMs for about 4 days, being, for lack of a better word, like just a real ass. And I tried to talk to him, I thought maybe this guy's having a bad day, and I just explained to him, you're not going to get anywhere talking like that, man. I'm happy to help you, but please calm down. And he just didn't. So that made me realize this guy is not just having a bad day. I'll give anybody a chance. But this guy was just not just having a bad day, he was just an ass at the end of the day, right? So I don't like using the block button. I think it's a little bit weak, right? But when it comes to this sort of stuff, and I've got real people to talk to who really want help, who really, have the right attitude. And like I said, we all have down days. We're not going to have the right attitude every single day. I certainly do. But for the most part, if your personality is arse-like, well, it's not going to fit with us. And that's what when you hear course creators say, let's jump on a call and see if it's a good fit. That's what they're talking about. And a lot of us mean that, right? And I've been on many calls where I've gone at the end, look, it's probably not going to be a good fit. It's probably not for you. I'm not scounging and trying to get all your money, right? And I think I understand why people do think that, because look, I'll tell you a story. I don't know how this guy got into the program I'm in, because it costs $16,000 to get into, but it's a high-level entrepreneurial program for coaches, and this coach teaches other coaches how to get students, right, or leads at the end of the day. And he ended up jumping into my inbox and saying, hey Dan, I see you're doing so well, how are you getting so many leads? And obviously we do it through ads and branding and messaging and doing it all the right way, right? But I just couldn't believe that there was a coach who taught people how to get leads jumping into my inbox asking how to get leads because he's struggling to get leads. And that, trendsetters, that is the reason why people come at coaches and course creators with a bad attitude. It's because guys like that. But everybody needs to know and actually realize that we're not all like that, right? You can't pigeonhole and just lump a whole group of people, especially ones that really want to help you guys like us, into that one little pocket and say we're all fakes, we're all fake gurus. And I hate the word guru. The word guru, was once a great word, right? But now it's turned to crap, because there are a lot of fake gurus out there, and there's no doubt about it. But guys, look, at the end of the day, all I really wanted to say in this video is give people a go. There's good people out there. Don't jump into DMs demanding things and stuff like that. If you really are struggling in your life and you really do need help, there are good coaches out there to reach out to, and we're one of them, right? If you want to reach out to us to get help to build an actual proper publishing business, you can do so. Jump into the DMs, be nice, and go watch our webinar. There's a lot of information on there. Granted, it's long, it's a webinar, but you need to be extremely, when you're going to make a decision to work with a coach, you need to be extremely educated on what that coach can offer you. And that's what our webinar does, right? And like I've said many times, our webinar is simply put together by a whole year of calls that I got on and spoke directly to people, and all of the same questions were asked over and over again. So our webinar covers all of that, and it also covers training. Like, we actually teach in it, and the resources, guys, at the end of our webinar are top notch, hold nothing back, right? You'll be able to publish public domain with them without our help. If you, my food's going cold, but I'll get to the point. You'll be able to publish public domain with our resources that you get at the end of our webinar without our help, but you'll do much better with it, right? Of course, because we've been doing this for a decade. Anyway, guys, the message here, again, as I said, just be nice to people, give people a chance. There are real people out there that care. All right, I'll talk to you all soon, and have a great day.